Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Joe, the 50-something Dasher, and man, you guys, what a last couple days it's been. Unbelievable. Uh, I thought I'd start off with telling the whole car story, and I'll make it quick. But Saturday, I did my dash. I was recording the video, and then towards the end of recording Saturday's video, I placed an order for something to eat. Okay, and then right as the video uploaded, then I went out to the car to go get the food. Car doesn't start. Okay, so that's just great. And I did not react very well at all to that. I started getting ticked off. I was real angry. I'm not a car person. I can fill the air in my tires and I can change the engine and cabin air filters, but that's about all I can do on a car. Okay, I'm not a mechanic. So I don't know what's going on. So, and I'm talking to my wife and everything on the phone. We're going back and forth. I'm trying to figure this out. So I call, or I don't call, I get on my app from my insurance company and request Roadside. Okay. The guy calls and says immediately and says he's on his way. He'll be here in a half hour. Okay, great. Half hour goes by and Billy Badass shows up to our apartment. Okay. Uh, I open the garage door and he's checking in or whatever on his phone and doing all this and that, is really hardly acknowledging me whatsoever. And as he's entering my garage, he's saying all kinds of, he's acting all ticked off and irritated and saying how he's probably, yeah, I've probably just wasted a whole bunch of time by coming here and all this, and kind of talking to himself but loud enough for me to hear. And it's like, whatever, I mean, you gonna help me or not? And then he goes over to my car and he says that, yeah, you didn't even need my help. And then he's like, and then I asked him, I said, so what exactly all do you do? Do you check the charge on the battery first or what? And he goes, I do everything. I do everything that's asked of me on a roadside service call. I do it all. And then, and then he's like, it takes a reading of a 13 is like a perfect charge for a battery or whatever. And come over here, look at this, look at what your reading is here. And it was like a 12.8 or something. See, you didn't even need me. This is a loose connection here. You didn't even need me here. It's a waste of time. And then he's real thick accent, and he's talking 100 miles a minute. So I just, I form it in a question, but I'm just asking to, make sure I understand. So you're saying that it's not the battery, it's the connection on the bed. I don't think I know that it's the loose connection. And so that's what I was dealing with. Folks, I was ticked at my car not starting. I was pissed off. What am I going to do? Where do I have to take it somewhere? Am I going to have to get it towed? This and that, million thoughts a second. And then, so I don't need Billy Badass. I understand that he's a little irritated because whatever he was doing, taking time out of his evening, he has to come and help a, helpless old man out that doesn't know anything about cars. Well, whatever. And newsflash, there's hundreds of millions of people in this world like me that don't know anything about cars. Okay, I'm not the only one here. So, so anyway, and he's doing all this complaining and everything, but in the same breath, so he tells me to tighten up the connection or whatever. And then in the same breath, that he's acting all irritated and pissed off because he's wasting his time, he also is going on and on about all of the things he does. Yeah, I know everything, and I do roadside for all the insurance companies, and I do it all, and this and that, and I'm the shit, and blah 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 blah. Well, he's not cursing, but and then it's before he leaves, he gives me this keychain with his name of the business and his phone number on it, and tells me to do anything that I ever need to call him. Like, I'm gonna call him if I ever need something, on one of our cars or whatever. I'm seriously, you really think I'm gonna call Billy Badass? So I was trying to, brainstorm what I could do with this keychain in this video, live in this video. And I thought, earlier today, I'm not going to be destructive or violent. I could have burned this, but I don't want to start a fire in here and the smell, because this is plastic. I don't want to burn it. I don't want to smash it up with a hammer or whatever. So what I thought I would do, I just take this Sharpie, and what I'll do is on the side that has all the information, I'm just going to like mark all that out. Okay, so I'm going to scribble out all of his information. So, there it is right there. Okay, so now it's just a black keychain. Okay, I got all his information scribbled out there. Again, no violence here, no destruction. I just scribbled it out. And I'm, just going to set the keychain right here. After the video, I'll just, gently place it in the trash. And our trash goes out Friday, and if this gets discovered 100 years from now in the landfill or whatever, they won't know that it's Billy Badass's keychain. Okay, so I'm getting rid of it and getting rid of him and moving on with my life. So there you go. And now to today's dash, which I hope things, turn back around here soon. This is just not good. I logged in at 6 o'clock, another slow start. Okay. In fact, I logged out of the dash altogether close to 6:30. And because a half hour, I'm not seeing anything. So I completely logged out of the dash, logged back in. It's 6:37. I get an upside down IHOP, 2 orders. So I decline that. And then 2 minutes later, I go ahead and take this $9, 7 mile Starbucks. And then, so that paid 2 and 7. So that took 21 minutes. Okay. And then I think I get an offer I forgot my glasses. They were here in the apartment. So I'm making my way back here. I get this offer. I decline, little $5 order, and a upside down $4 Tim Hortons. I think this one I got when I'd already gotten home. And so, like, for about 15 minutes, I pull in, I get my glasses, I leave the garage door open. I'm thinking I'm going to get something within just a few minutes. Garage door is open. I'm sitting in the living room, no offers. And I start getting bored. And I turn on a couple other of my apps, and I accepted a gig on another app. So that's why I ended the dash at 7:20, just the one order. And then for the next hour, I worked on this other gig. Took me an hour, paid about $32. And that was actually my best order of the day. It wasn't on DoorDash. It was on this, this other gig. So, okay, so I finished that and logged back into DoorDash at 8:24. This is a little raunchy, but I went ahead and took this 1025 10-mile Speedway and Burger King, but both of them's going to the same customer. So I get to Speedway first. That's just a monster, and then the Burger King is just like 2 breakfast sandwiches and hash brown. So easy delivery here. All total, about a half hour for the 1025. So not too bad. 375 and then 650 on the tips. And then upside down McDonald's going pretty far south, decline. Upside down Wendy's going out to Obet's, decline. Had a lot of declines today, folks. $15 PetSmart. That's better than what I've been getting, but it's just going too far north. I got to get something better than this. Decline. Here we go. A few minutes later, $6 2.5 mile McDonald's. I think I was sitting in the Meijer parking lot at this point. Did have to wait 4 minutes for this, but still completed it all in 17 minutes, 2 and 4. So 636, 5.5 mile Starbucks, I guess. 18 minutes for my 636. Pretty routine, standard there. Right away, 550, 4. I guess these are kind of orders I'm going to be doing. Again, 17 minutes for the 550, 2 and 350. So I'm at $28 here, plus the 9, plus the 32. So whatever that comes out to. I went ahead and took this $22, 13-mile Meijer, South Bloomfield. I'll go down there for $22. Let's do it. Here's the list. The only thing was this first item here, the cheese ravioli. And customer didn't respond to the chat, so I had to call. And you see here, I just got 2 of the 9-ounce. And even though that was probably going to be more expensive than the 20-ounce, doing it this way, the red card still went through. So, and then 10:48, so 42 minutes. I made my 22.25, 13.50 and 8.75. And it might have been on this order. Is one of the Meijer orders. It might have been this one. I did get a $3 cash tip today. So when I got there, the customer was like, here's, I tipped in the app, but here's a little extra. I know how, challenging it is, going through those stores. And I mean, she's right. They were crowded today. Unusually crowded for a Monday. Not doing Dick's Sporting Goods to downtown, decline. Let's get bombarded here. Or no, I didn't take this. Upside down Chipotle, decline. $9 Wendy's going to Darbydale, not doing it. Please fix the bridge. Thank you very much. $7 5-mile Chipotle. Okay, 14 minutes, 2 and 5. Okay, just, not doing a shopping order for $4. Decline. The upside down KFC, decline. Here we go. $4 Little Caesars, decline. $6 not going into Kroger is starting to get busy, not doing it for $6. I don't care what the item is, decline. Upside down Starbucks, decline. Upside down Jersey Mike's, decline. Going to Alkire Road, not doing it. $14 11 item Giant Eagle Obet's, decline. I think I declined this one too. I mean, what? Well, $13. What are the items here? It's only 5 miles, but what are the items? Decline, not doing it. These dried peppers here, that can be challenging. You have to hunt that rack down in the produce department. And the last couple times I've shopped for stuff like this, they don't have much of a selection on that. That and the steak. I cannot stand shopping for steak anymore. Hate it. So those three things, instant automatic decline. Less as that would have paid more, but okay. 1950 12 mile Meyer. The list was better on this. I went in and took it. I had to substitute that pie. And that, I think that was it. Yeah, everything else listed here I got. So 18-minute shop. Okay, delivered at 12:20. So this was almost an hour for the 21 bucks, 16 and 5. Or it could have been that one I got the cash. I don't know. I wanted to know if I wanted to switch zones, Southwest Columbus, no thanks. A few minutes later, $4 Little Caesars decline. $4 McDonald's decline. $8 IHOP downtown zone decline. $5.50 Subway to West Zone decline. Let's do one. Let's do one of these $4. This is only a mile. Let's do it. I was at Speed. I'm right in between these two. I was at Speedway getting gas and whatever. I go. They were finishing up the order and just delivered down the street to a local business. 11 minutes for my $4. Congratulations. 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Be right back at you. $26, 18 and a half miles. Meyer. Let's do it. Let's try to do it. A minute later, 875 Meyer add on, no additional. Let's go ahead and do this too. So, you might as well say 35 bucks. Okay, sure. And we had a appointment for my wife's car to get her tires looked at. So I'll do this. The appointment was at 3:15. So by the time I shop this, deliver these, get back, it's going to be about the time to leave. There's the list. Okay. Substituted this chicken, late response from the customer, but I finally got one. And then each customer, the other customer was this cornbread stuffing, and they didn't respond till late either. But I got substitutions for both of those things. Go up to the checkout, but follow all the procedures. Proceed to checkout, start a checkout, scan all my items, paid. Start B checkout, scan all my items. Thank you very much. Red card declined. Okay. Folks, this is getting annoying. This is 3 times in like a week and a half or less than 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. Okay, on the first one they told me that I must not have clicked on the steps in the right order. I follow the steps. I always have. I finish the shopping. How can you skip ahead or mess up? See that I don't understand. I think I don't know, folks. I'm not going to rant about it. Our dinner's ready soon, so I'm not going to rant about this. I'll try to just tell the story. I don't get it. proceed to checkout. And just like I said, start a checkout, scan, pay, start beach. I'm following the steps in the app as directed. Okay, I don't know why the red car got declined on the other order. I don't know. Okay, but this time I've in previous videos I kept talking about how my wife had been disagreeing with me. She was saying that, well, I think you should just drop the orders. That's her opinion. Okay, so today I was like, you know what, let's just do my wife's strategy here, because these were my last two orders. I really want to mess around with DoorDash support again? I just wanted to complete these and go home and go to our appointment. Okay. My wife's strategy was didn't work. Let me just say that right. It didn't work, folks. It did not work. Unassigned with no pay. My completion rate will not be affected. Thank you very much. Okay, so I unassign with no pay, so now I should just have the one order that I've already paid for and go and deliver it. However, next screenshot. Well, first that. Next screenshot. There you go. There you go. Thank you very much. I can't deliver the second order. There it is right there. My wife's strategy failed. Congratulations, it failed. Thank you. Blank screen. I can do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I kept a couple different times I tried to shut the app down and bring it back up, and as soon as I would bring the app up, it would show like a pause for just a second or two. You'd see the timer for just like 1 second and then the blank screen. This is all I could see. Okay. So now I got to call DoorDash support. Well, let me back up. I forgot a piece of the story. So I told the self-checkout cashier that I was, payment got declined. So I was now not taking that second order. And at first he was going to let me leave the sacks there at that register, and then changed his mind and asked me to take them to the customer service desk. And I said, well, so I guess I got to get another grocery cart. And, he said, no, just, put the sacks in this cart you have here and go up there and just offload the sacks at the desk. And so I did that, but they were helping other customers, and I just like set the sacks there like he said, but they wouldn't know what they were or why I'm setting them there. But I don't know. I did what the guy said. So I go out to my car to call DoorDash support. Okay. Since I'm on an active order, I have to start with the AI agent. And the AI can't do anything. They transfer me to a live agent. I'm on hold for a couple minutes, and then my wife calls. So I take her call, and when I try to disconnect from just her, it disconnects both calls. Okay. Now I have to pee really bad. So I immediately, I plug in my earbuds, I dial the number back up, and with a completely, totally blank app, and I've talked about this before a long time ago in my videos, but that DoorDash support number, you want to have that in your contacts in your phone, because otherwise, if you just rely on contacting them through the app, and this is all you can get anytime you open the app up, how are you supposed to call them? So you wanna have these, any of these apps that you work off of. You want to have the support numbers in your contacts on your phone for situations like this. I get back on the phone, I'm on hold, and this whole time I'm on hold, I walk to, go to the bathroom, then come back to my car, yada yada. Uh, 15 minutes goes by. I'm still on hold. You see here, I'm on hold for about close to 10 minutes at this point. And I decide, well, while I'm just sitting there, let me try to delete the DoorDash app and, just uninstall it and reinstall it. I got time here. So I do that, and because they might have me do that anyway. I've had support tell me to uninstall before. So let me just go ahead and do it. I got a different result, but still not a result that I can do anything with. This is what I get for my one order, where it's nothing to shop and nothing's done. And if I hit that all items are out of stock, it's going to cancel the order. I don't want that. I know I've got the order and I paid for it and it's in my car. So I can't do this. This is just as worthless as the white screen. Another 5 minutes goes by, and so real shortly after this screenshot is when I got an agent on the phone. It took about 5 minutes, and then I at this point I got the delivery information back on the app. So the live agent put it back on me at 2:05. Okay. And so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what my position was. Like, I think this was like when I got to the customer, maybe, because it took a few minutes to deliver. But these instructions here, I always add more tip when the order is correct. No extra tip was added. So old instructions. Now, was this going to be the $23 order, or knowing my luck, it's going to be like the $8 order? Okay. Drum roll, if you will. It was the $8 order. Great. Just great. $3.75, $5 tip. This all, look at the time here. Oh my God. 12:43. Are you kidding me? To 2:22. What is that? Is that like 7 hours that I made $8.75? I told my wife, I said, you owe me like $15 here. and you know what? It's funny, guys. You know what her reaction to all of this was right here? She's like, well, you shouldn't have listened to me. You normally don't listen to me anyway, so I don't know why you would have listened to me on this. Unbelievable. But I still love her, guys. I love her. Oh, okay. So going forward, I don't know why this is such a regularly occurring thing all of a sudden. Going forward, I'm going to pay for every single one of these out of my own. Well, I probably should stop. I'm going to start using a credit card now for this, because I'm not using our, bank account. What if I get 5 or 6 of these in a week? I can't keep taking money out of our bank account like that. I'm going to start using a credit card. And then each time, I get paid, I'm going to hold on to that reimbursement money, pay the credit card off each month. You know, it's just so aggravating. But see, so I got screwed. I had to waste a whole bunch of time with DoorDash support on my wife's method. Probably wasted more time doing it that way than had I just paid for the order, you know, on my credit card. See, you do that, and because I thought this wait time to get an agent was kind of excessive to what you know what I normally wait, and if you're not on an active order, then I don't have to mess with the AI agent. See, that's the thing. I should just continue to do what I had been doing. I should just paid and I wouldn't have been out the $23 either. Okay, so I should just paid with my credit card, saved the receipt, delivered these two orders. Okay, put the dash in a pause, then call in support, and I'm not on an active order, so I get somebody on the phone quicker, and then and then they send me the email, and then I attach the receipt to the email and send it back to them, and it's just so frustrating and annoying. But folks, I'm gonna end this and we're gonna eat dinner now. Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Today better be a better day. I'm telling you, I don't know if I can go through this kind of crap again tomorrow. I don't know, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As always, be sure to drive safe out there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to do that. Sign up for notifications and all the above. And we'll see you at the next video. Thanks again, guys.